What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Yesterday we absolutely nailed it. Like the video itself, I mentioned that price would head towards the downside, but at 9:45, do not be surprised if you get an impulse move up before price heads down. And then boom, yesterday, check out what happens. You get an initial move heading lower, then ultimately you get the manipulation move up before boom, price heads straight down, taking out the Asia lows, which was my original target, and then the rest of the day is the rest of the day. That is not what these videos are about. Also, I have read the comments from all of you guys from yesterday's video, and seems like all of you want to consider that as a win. So that puts us at 73 out of 87 of all public analyses I've done since February. And in this video, it's time to repeat the same thing and hopefully give you guys the setup for the day. So yesterday I did mention that in order for price to be bullish, this would need to happen. Basically, you needed a candle close above that 1 hourly chart right there, and you ultimately got it. And so today the setup is pretty simple. Like right now, you have also filled in this February gap. Like I made this video a little bit late today, but the February gap has already been filled and price is starting to show some kind of willingness to head towards the upside. Taking a look at the daily chart, this is a big bullish candle, and so we are looking for longs until proven otherwise. Although the weekly chart, we are still bearish, and this could be a false move up before, a dump later on during the week. Now, one of the reasons why I was able to basically predict the time when that false manipulation move would happen down to like a 15-minute accuracy, basically started at 9:30, ended at 10 a.m. and then boom, right? That was when the manipulation move happened. The main reason for that is because we had news yesterday. If you take a look at 9:45 right here, that is USD news. That's why news is so important. And one of the reasons why I love trading on news days. Now, one thing you need to understand about news, or rather trading, thing you need to understand about trading in general is that at every given time, you're always trying to figure out 3 different variables. Now, the first variable is direction. Are you going up? Are you going down? Right? Once you figure that out, is number 2, how far up or how low is it going to go? And then third is timing. Like basically, when is it going to happen, or like how long is the move going to last? The beautiful thing about news days is that it basically kind of removes one of the variables for you, in the sense that you know for a fact that at 9:45 something's going to happen. Your remaining job is simply to figure out what's going to happen. And today we have news once more at 10 a.m., which is the Federal Chair Jerome Powell is going to be testifying. And so if you're looking for a move today, expect something to happen. 9:45, sorry, at around 10 a.m. and I would expect that move to happen sometime during 9:30. So I'm going to give you guys the setup today once we go into, well, right now we're under lower time frames. So this low here is technically a strong low because you have swept liquidity. Now, you have also swept out the Asia lows. And so this gives us a reason to be like, okay, this is probably the low of the day and price is going to head higher. And so what do we look for in particular? Well, the initial entry would have been right here, right after you filled in that February gap, you would have gotten the CISD. And right now, price is actually still heading back into this CISD on the 5-minute, which means an entry right here, stop underneath the strong low, and targeting 2R would be a very valid setup. Although by the time you guys see this video, this entry is definitely going to be lost already. And so this is the initial kind of position. But even if you miss this one, no problem, because later on you have news. And one of the reasons I'm able to predict that these types of manipulation moves happen is using news. There tends to be a lot of manipulation that happens around those timings. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this low actually gets taken out once more during 9:30, 10 a.m. It would still be within the February gap right there, and then the price is probably going to head higher from that point onwards. And in this case, I'm going to set my target at the current daily high, not trying to expect too much out of it. Now, you can definitely aim much more, but again, I'm sharing with you my perspective from my system, which involves just catching a high probability move during the day. I'm not trying to necessarily catch the largest move of the day, which is why I'm also okay, like not being able to call this one right here. Truth be told, I live in Asia, and it is really tough for me to catch any trades during the New York afternoon session because it's quite literally midnight. And so I focus on this one right here. I focus on extracting 2R, 3R out of the market every single day. And to those of you who believe that doing it this way doesn't, make you great money, like, oh, you have to make, 10% a day or whatever, or like a big move, like you need to invest in meme coins or altcoins to get like 200% or whatever. To the people that tell you that is the only way to make money, they are definitely like tripping. Now I want you to picture yourself having access to, let's say, $200,000 in capital. Now, would your goal be to, put a lot of that $200,000 at risk in order to make, an extra 200,000? Or the other approach would be, okay, you can consistently take high probability trades that give you 2% every time, you win. And if you can repeat that just 5 times throughout the month, that's 10%. That's a really great return. You're making 20 grand. That's the mindset that I'm coming from. And that's why also in Bootcamp, the result that I'm trying to help you achieve is to get funded for at least $100,000. Most of you are interested in trading. Most of you see yourselves being full-time traders. Unfortunately, most of you may not have the capital needed in order to make a meaningful income out of it without going like gambling all of your money in meme coins, basically. And so if you're interested in joining the next intake of Bootcamp, where I take you one-on-one from where you are right now to fund it for $100,000 within the next 90 days, then feel free to click the first link in the description box below and sign up to join the next intake. Due to the one-on-one nature of this, we only take on about 4 people every intake. Used to be 3, but we have some systems in place now to be able to handle more. If you're interested, check it out. Otherwise, let's get back into the video. So just to go back to what I was speaking about before, I fully expect the daily bias today to be towards the upside. Everything from the 1 hourly to the daily and even on the 5-minute seems to be pointing towards the upside. And the only thing you need to watch out for is another false liquidity sweep either to this favorite gap, or I wouldn't actually be looking for this favorite gap, especially you don't want to see a 1 hourly candle closure underneath that favorite gap. Otherwise that signals kind of weakness and you're going to flip that potential support into resistance to head to the lower one. Ideally that doesn't happen in order for this long scenario to be, well, valid. Now, the second scenario that could happen is that price just straight up pumps from this point onwards without retracing back into here. Now, the moment price closes above this blue box right here, basically when you get a 1 hourly candle close above 105,600, you will officially validate this as a potential order block for price to return back to find support here before pumping. And so that could be your setup number 2, although just be aware, if this happens sometime during 9:30 a.m., then don't be surprised when this happens instead. Okay? Overall, it's looking good for Bitcoin. Ultimately, as Bitcoin maxis, as people, inside crypto, we are all holding bags. We would like to see Bitcoin go up. This is just a second fill of, the favorite gap on the weekly chart. Overall, everything is still pointing towards the upside, regardless of what is happening in the world right now, regardless of what the president may be saying or from his actions. Just keep in mind that these are bullish times. There is no reason to be panicking at the moment because, well, things look good. But anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe if you want to stay updated with this 80% win rate analysis. But anyways, subscribe if you enjoy these analyses done from the smart money perspective on crypto. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.